Thank you for having me. I don't take it lightly when, you and the leadership team trust your family with an outsider. So it's just a even higher duty and responsibility, I fear. But here's the one thing that I want to share with you. And La mentioned, we talked about this in the leadership training at an event we did a few weeks ago, and she wanted me to share this with you guys. So, if you could, hone in and just kind of zero in on what we're talking about and understand, and she mentioned, she has some bouts with fear, and that's not unusual for what a lot of people are facing today. And I'll start out by saying, right now we're living in a time where there truly is a crisis of faith. I'll say it again, it's a crisis of faith. And when this happens, it's more critical than ever that you take inventory. Take inventory of what, Mike? Take inventory of what and who you're listening to. Think about that for a second, because understand, guys, fear and faith want the same thing from you. Fear and faith want the same thing from you. They want you to believe in something that has not happened yet. So now you have a choice of where to place your focus, and understand anything and everything grows by hearing. So faith comes by hearing. It's a repetitious process. But the question for all of us is, what are you repetitiously hearing? See, this is a season right now where you got to make a decision. You guys have a great task in front of you, and I applaud and I tip my hat with this millionaire millennial movement. But during this season, you got to make a decision. And this is a season where you kind of got to draw a line in the sand. And that means basically understanding first that, make sure my computer don't shut off, understanding first that during these times, that you're not here by accident. You're here, you guys have birthed the vision, write the vision, make it plain, so who sees it will run. You've birthed the vision to create a millionaire millennial movement. So all of this is not by accident, but it truly is by design, and I truly believe it is for a purpose, and that purpose is always greater than us, individually. So how do you keep your faculties about you, during this season of where we're living in a crisis of faith? And it starts with where we begin by making a decision. And the decision that you're going to make is, you're going to make a decision first to guard your heart, and then you're going to make a decision to guard your mind. And I hope you're really hearing this. It really is about guarding your heart and guarding your mind. Now, we're all familiar with the scripture, living in the world, but not being of the world. And if you understand that, then you'll understand that, but that means that you have a control over what happens in your inner circle, in your world, and when we think about that, like we say, whether it's as a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh and believeth in his heart, so is he. Whatever the desires of your heart, believe that you received it and you will have it. Write the vision, make it plain, so who sees it will run. All of this is a part of you designing your world within the world. So when you understand that the power of the word and using the power of the word, then you realize that the things that you have absolutely no control of cannot harm you when you're locked in and you're focused and you've made that decision to guard both your mind and guard your heart. So now we're talking about this as it relates to during this movement, and as you guys are growing and evolving, it all boils down to guarding your mental health. What we talk about in business mindset, we talk about personal development, self-improvement, but I wanted to put even a greater emphasis, because it's all the same, but society has just attached the label that makes, when you say mental health, sound like a bad term. But it really is, you're taking responsibility and ownership of guarding that mental health. So when you look at mental health, no differently than you look at personal development, no differently than you look at self-improvement, it takes on a whole different meaning of when we're talking about guarding your health and guarding your mindset. So let's talk about, how do we guard our health? Our mental health, how do we guard our mindset? And that process means that it's critical to pay attention to your belief system. I'll say it again because we use and throw that word around lightly, but that word is so paramount and so powerful. It's critical to pay attention to your belief system. And see, when we understand the things that contribute to our belief system, then we're more apt to guard the information. See, the things that contribute to your belief system are your words, your taste, all of our senses, your taste, your touch, what your images, your environment, what you're hearing, all of these have different frequencies that are attached to it. So if you're using words that speak to fear, then that's the frequency that you're operating in. But if you're using words that speak to faith, that speak to your true power, that speak to your inner knowing, tapping into your inner God, then now you're using words to elevate your belief system. If you're listening to things that is perpetuating fear, if you're in an environment of having conversations where people are talking lack or people are talking fear, guess what? You're taking it in and it's contributing to your belief system, because the thing we said in the beginning, faith comes by hearing. We think over 60,000 repetitious thoughts on a daily basis. So if we know we're thinking 60,000 repetitious thoughts on a daily basis, don't you want to be in control of as many of those thoughts as possible? And the ways that we're in control of those thoughts are guarding our belief system and elevating our belief system through constantly, repetitiously stating your words. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm a champion. I'm a winner. I'm the best of the best. I am enough. I have what it takes. If you start to just self-talk, now those self-talk becomes those thoughts, part of those 60,000 repetitious thoughts that you're now starting to feed into that funnel. So remember, your belief system is comprised of all 5 of your senses. If you're hearing things, what we hear, the word information, look at the prefix of that word, inform. So that means what we're hearing comes in and it forms. So again, if you're watching constant negative news, CNN, or you're watching Fox, or you're watching all of these news channels, that is perpetuating to your fear, which is halting your belief system and is giving fear the edge over faith. Because remember, there's a crisis of faith happening right now. So we have control over whether we can elevate our faith, but we only elevate it through a repetitious process of what we're feeding ourselves. What's your environment look like? Is your environment the depressing? Is your environment an environment of lack, or is your environment an environment of where you want to go? You see my virtual background, that is my Rolls Royce Dawn. That is my environment. I've got pictures all around of my waterfront condo. I've got pictures of my 65-foot yacht. I've got pictures because that's the environment. Because whatever we see, you got to keep, Mr. Vaughn always talks about keeping your mental separate from your physical. So you've got to see and declare those things as if, whatever the desires of your heart, believe that you've received it. Received is past tense, meaning it is. It says ask and it is given. Now we're doing the things to line our frequency up, to line our energy up, to match the things that we've declared, because we're declaring that we're in control of the world that we're creating around the world. Does that make sense? So, guard all of that. That's all part of your belief system, your images, your hearing, what you're touching, what you're tasting. Are you constantly eating Happy Meals? Then you're tasting a different mindset than if you're going to Ruth Chris, or if you're going to Mastro's and having a 5-course meal, at a 5-star restaurant. Even if you can't afford it, guess what? Be in that environment, because that environment has a different energy. That environment has a different frequency. You can go sit at the bar and order appetizers, but now you're in a different environment and you're just kicking back, absorbing it, but you're becoming a part of that. You're connecting with that elevated frequency. All of these are so critical and so key and so paramount to what it is that you're doing and what it is that we have to do to elevate faith. Because then there's a saying that as the tide rises, all boats float. So now you have to look at yourself as a rising tide. You have to look at yourself as an example. And even in this, and I'll say this specifically to the millennials, and I tip my hat to TMO, because they're creating an environment for La to elevate her mindset. They're creating an environment where they're allowing her to dream. And the challenge, and I was a millennial at one point at the time too. So the challenge is, you know, we've got folks in our lives that want the best and mean the best for us, but it might not be in alignment with what our vision is. It might not be in alignment with what God placed in your heart for what it is that you want to do. If it's a vision, if it's a thought that you've birthed, then you have to own that. You have to know that that was planted for you, and what's for you is what's for you. And in order to move forward, and this is what I'll close with, this is a season where you got to have courage. You got to have courage, and understand courage is not a way of being. Courage is a natural state. And how do we nurture that natural state? We continue to water it. We continue to be it. We continue to live it. We continue to exercise it. You know, emotion is energy in motion. We continue to be in motion, exercising that courage. Courage is not about feeling fear. Courage is about feeling fear, but still choosing to take action. There we go. That's that action in motion. Courage is facing adversity, because we're all going to face adversity. But the question is, how do you face the adversity? Courage is facing adversity with gratitude and love, and not going into your negative emotions. Think about that for a second. It's facing adversity with gratitude and love. Why am I using courage and facing a setback with gratitude and love? Because when we're in a state of gratitude, it elevates. Gratitude is an emotion that means that you want more, that you're ready to receive more. You know, being grateful causes increase in your life. So if you're grateful and you're operating in love, you're prepared to receive the increase in your life. And the last thing, courage is about being willing to block out the noise. And that's everything we've talked about, blocking out the noise so that you can see the new opportunities to create a life of meaning, abundance, prosperity, and joy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get this, if you understand and embrace the fact to not look at it from a fearful perspective, but look at it from a perspective as God put you here during this particular time because you have an assignment. You have an assignment that you are enough to accomplish. You have an assignment that only you during this time can elevate and make that happen. So you have to live in fear. You can't live in faith, because we already know they want the same thing from us. So now that we know our words have power, now that we know the things that we listen to contribute to our belief system, now that we know the images and the environments that we're in contribute to our belief system, now you know, just as it says, write your vision, make it plain, so who sees it will run, and declare it every single day. Write it out. Write it out. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I'm the best of the best. I am enough. I've got what it takes. I am a multi-million-dollar earner. I am a success. I elevate and lift others and help to inspire others to see the greatness in themselves and to express it. Guys, we all have seeds of greatness inside of us. Your challenge from this day forward is to tap into those seeds of greatness. And that seed is nothing but the God that's inside of you, and then step in to your greatness. Back to you, La.
Come on now, Shondo. Come on. That was awesome. I can hear my mom screaming all the way downstairs, and I'm upstairs. That was awesome. Thank you, Mr. Bazemore. That's exactly what I needed. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. An hour before this, I was in the car crying. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I was messed up, but I said, push. You better push. And I'm so glad. I really do believe God places people and words in your life at the exact time that you need it. And I'm so glad that we're recording this so people can go back. I can go back and look at this because it is needed. We have to protect our minds. And I told someone. I'm policing what I watch and what I listen to right now because I have to. It's so easy for you to get distracted. And there's something about, media that takes you, you can have plans for the day, but watching the wrong thing will have you watching 10 other wrong things, or it'll have you thinking about something that you have no business thinking of. So Mr. Bazemore, I'm just so grateful that you shared that with us today. In the chat, please put some fire, some clappy hands, some prayer hands. Please let him know, let him feel that energy, because that was awesome. Yes. And Miss Janae is here, Miss Janae Brown. She is the other team member that I did shout out earlier. We're
D1.
Yes. Yes, we are so grateful for all of y'all being here today. If you have any questions, I do want to allow anyone, if they have any questions or comments, please share them. You can drop them. That was incredible. I agree. Mr. Bazemore is going to be speaking among millions one day, okay? He's going to be speaking among millions. See, I'm speaking that for you.
I receive it.
Amen. Awesome. So we'll jam out. I will get the link for our Instagrams for anyone to follow. I'll put on some tunes. My mom is telling me to read the comments. We got some clappy hands, incredible, inform. Yes, that inform thing, I wrote that down. You didn't say that the last time. I said, all right now. That was awesome. That was so good. And fear and faith want the same thing.
We all have a choice. That's why guarding your mental health is so critical right now. So you really have to control your environment, and that's everything. That's the people you're associating with. That's the conversation, because everything happens in seasons. And this is a season. You guys have a great task in front of you. You have a vision that is so large that small-minded people can't come along for this ride. We still love them. Well, there's a saying, divinely indifferent, lovingly detached. Well, we're just detached right now because the division is bigger than that, because they're going to benefit because you've guarded your mental health. They're going to benefit because, remember, you're that rising tide. And as you continue to elevate, those that are with you are going to come with you eventually. Some are going to come now, some are going to come later, but you got to decide, is my vision worth me putting the effort? Is my vision putting the tunnel vision on and guarding my mindset? Because a lot of people are succumbing to fear. And a lot of it is because when you're having a conversation about lack, when you're having a conversation about the divisiveness that's happening to try to divide us, and you're talking about it, guess what? Those are your words. Your wish is my command. So that's what you're speaking. So now you're speaking those words into your future. So what you're speaking into your future is more fear. So do you want to put fear into your future? Do you want to put more faith into your future? And the way you put more faith into your future is to speak faith today, because each present moment is our most powerful and most creative moment. So we have the ability, whatever we're speaking in this moment is creating tomorrow and the tomorrow after that. So that's why it's so critical. Guard our mental health, guard your words, guard that information, put the pictures around you to see the environment, because all that does is all of that contributes to elevating your belief system. And if you've got that much faith, fear doesn't have a place in that, because anything we water will grow. So if you're going to continue to water fear, it's going to keep growing. And how do you water it? Talking about it, watching different things, even certain TV shows that are deemed popular. It's a lot of hidden messages in those shows to perpetuate and provoke fear. So again, in this season, and this season could be the next 90 days, this season could be the next year, you determine that. But that's when you have to get in your mindset that now I am living in this world, but I'm not of this world. How am I living in this world, but not of this world? Is because I'm making my declarations of what I'm designing my life. I am designing my life by the declarations and the affirmations that I'm saying and that I'm reading, because even when you write them down, that's why it says, write the vision, make it plain. When you write it down and you read it, what are you doing? You're hearing it. So the more you hear it, the more it's coming into what? Form. It's not an accident. The blueprint has been written for ages. Some people understand it, you know, on a surface level. We're just going deeper to pull it to the forefront to say that's what it really means. So read your affirmations, print them out, post them, have them on your mirror in your bathroom. So when you're brushing your teeth, you're reading and talking to yourself. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Why am I talking to myself out loud? Because I'm hearing it. So I'm speaking it. I'm using the words. My eyes, whatever your eyes see, they say yes to. The last 3 letters of the word eyes is Y-E-S. Hearing, E-A-R. Heart, E-A-R. Because it's still whatever you're hearing is going to your heart. All of that is contributing to your belief system. All of these words have meanings. You just have to understand that within those words, if you understand the meaning, then you understand that there's no need to be fearful. You understand that now I can live a life of faith because I'm designing that life of faith, because I'm writing it down, I'm saying it, I'm reading it, I'm at a stoplight, I'm just saying to myself, I am a top producer, I'm a multi-million-dollar, I've helped 10,000 people, I recruit top leaders that bring tens of thousands of people into my business, whatever it is that you're doing, but you're speaking it continuously because you want to continue to hear it.